Welcome, everyone.
Hi, guys. Nice to see you. Coffee and tea time every Saturday with now congressional candidate Mr. Lev Parnas. Lev remembers is where you can find him. Look at those hearts. Look at everybody. He's like, he's going to fuck shit up in Congress, isn't he? 27th District of Florida. There he is right there. I didn't even know. Like, I had no idea. And it was a week and a half ago. And this is a true story, everybody, where I'm like, hey, Lev, why don't you just run for Congress? Remember when we had Riggs on for coffee and
Yeah.
tea that Saturday?
Yeah.
Denver Riggleman, who is a former congressman, and he's considering getting back into the politics game because he knows we need good people. And right there across the screen for me, that man is an American goddamn hero. So I say to him, I'm like, why don't you just run for Congress? And he starts laughing. He's like, can you imagine that? Fucking me walking in there, talking to these people. Yeah. I want the Epstein files now. I'm going to reclaim my time. You shut the fuck up. You're getting subpoenaed. And all of them. I mean, all of them are getting subpoenaed. Like, it doesn't matter. You don't even need a petition anymore. You can just go, boom, subpoena. So when I said that to you this last week in our recent last Saturday's coffee and tea, he calls me. I'll let everybody in on the story. Lev does look happy, Tony. He is happy. He's running for Congress. He's so fucking happy, and he's surrounded by beautiful people that he is leading this charge with. But you know, I didn't think when you phoned me, you're like, hey, I'm going to go blackout today. Would you mind just telling everybody to keep an eye out for my announcement today? I'm like, what's the announcement? And my friend Lev Parnas is like, I'm not telling you. Anyway, congratulations, my friend, and I truly mean that. Yeah.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. And thank each and every one of you. I mean, I'm giddy. I'm happy. Yes, it's a good day. A lot of things. First of all, the first thing I want to say is I'm running. We're all running. I mean, this is each and every one of us. And I wanted to make it clear to my team. I made it clear to everybody out there that this campaign is going to mimic our Love Remembers platform, our our community here, our wolf pack, the crowdsourcing of information. I mean, this is going to be a grassroots movement like they've never seen before. Because today, one of the biggest issues in our government and why we have such corruption and why we're able to see this, and the one thing that I've seen as plain as sight, Dean, is the corruption, the bribery, the influence, the way all of these foreign assets, foreign governments. I'm not even talking about the local governments. I can't even explain to you like
how corrupt American politics is.
Oh my God! So
I don't
the
think
lobby groups, like I'm saying to you, and it's on both sides, and so the interesting part of it is, I'll tell you guys like the story a little bit. I mean, it wasn't easy to decide to run for Congress because I had a lot of barriers. First of all, I'm still under supervised release. I'm not allowed to vote. I mean, just think about this. I'm not allowed to go vote right now because I'm a convicted felon, because I worked for the president. Just think about my story. I mean, I've been in this country this year. This year, it's going to be 50 years since me and my sister and my family, it's my mom, since we came to this country. 50-year anniversary. I'm turning 54. I've been an American citizen for 48 years of the
half a century.
Half a century. I'm saying to you, living here and to never go through such crazy periods and times in my life. People seen my documentary, read the book, and I never got in trouble until I started working for the president of the United States. Just think about that. And here I go, thinking that I finally, got out of all of this corruption that I grew up in and that I've seen and that I looked up. And here I am, a kid from Brooklyn, finally making it to the White House, making it to the most powerful office, making it where I'm surrounded by the most power. And instead of, thinking that that's it, that's the plateau of where it's all up and up. That's the other side of the spectrum. And what I saw was totally the opposite.
Chaos.
What I saw and what I realized, it was even more corrupt. It was even more. It was even when people used to say, I remember back in the streets, like the politicians are more corrupt than mobsters. I would laugh. I would think like, how do you can't even, and it's true. Even
Well,
Rudy.
and you're
Yeah.
uniquely qualified to make that statement.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely qualified to make that statement. And even Rudy
Yeah.
would like sit back all the time and make these comments, like how he would, look up to certain mobsters that he put away in prison because they had
Mhm.
more of a backbone, they had more of loyalty, they were more stand up, like using his words, stand up guys compared to politicians, because politicians are, they love you, they kiss your kids, they hug you, but in the back they're stabbing you in the back.
Mhm.
And with that, what we've seen uncovered, and what I've seen with my own eyes, is how this influence of foreign money, it basically takes control of these campaigns. It's
Mhm.
because it basically becomes legalized bribery.
Mhm.
So if you take a look in Eastern Europe and some of these countries out there that we as Americans, we scream it's corrupt, Ukraine is corrupt, Russia's corrupt, South America's corrupt. All of this is corrupt. We're supposed to be the beacon of all of this honesty. But let's take a look at what we do. So over there, they'll give you cash under the table, or they'll give you a bag, or whatever the deals, however the deals are done over there. In America, it's done all legally. So here, you gotta go to a lobbyist, and you give him some money legally. You hire him legally, and legally, he tells you you're gonna donate money to these certain super PACs.
Mhm.
Super PACs that are set up in a special way where you cannot in any way, nobody's gonna find out it's you. There's no what's it called, identification. You could do it through a foreign asset. I mean, we'll set it up in any different way, and then that super PAC is going to represent your voice when I go sit down with Congressman A
Yep.
or Senator B, and I'm going to donate to their campaign. That super PAC is going to run ads for that campaign. That super PAC is going to take care of that campaign. And and watching that play, I would say to myself, even back then, I would say to myself, like me and Igor, I would remember we would talk and said, they gotta figure it out. Like, I mean, who's better? Like, that's legalized bribery. Like what? I mean, like, I could just legally go and say, I can't speak to you. And the funny part is, the congressperson will come sit down with you and have a picture taken, sit with you at the table, give you a pat on the back, say rah rah rah, walk away, and then the lobbyist will come back to you and say he'll vote for the bill for you. And that's how it works, folks. As even, I mean, and how do you not call that bribery? How do you not call that corruption? How do you not call that manipulation? How do you, and then you can't even, and nobody cares where the money came from. That's the
Mhm.
crazy part.
Mhm.
And then you'll have some of these, people out there that'll come up and say, wait a second, I'm not getting this money. So they start trying to bring attention to it. Folks, smash those hearts, because believe me, the stuff you're going to hear, we're going to bring to your attention, because now it's real. Now because now our words are action. Now I'm literally running for Congress. So the things I'm telling you, these are my policies, folks. This is what I'm running on. These are the things that I'm planning on doing. I'm saying to you, like, and the main thing is stopping the corruption that I know, that I've seen in front of it, and I know how it works in the chains. And that's why that foreign money. Yeah, go ahead.
No, no, no. Like the foreign money, and I'm glad you kind of, and I just need to interject here just for a quick second, because there's a couple things that you're leaning into here that require some explanation, right? When we talk about super PACs are third party legal agencies, LLCs, that can do whatever they want anytime they want, run commercials for anybody they want, pay off any lawsuit they want, give money and bribe people anytime they want, and there is literally nothing anybody can do about it. Like, nothing anybody can do about it. We have the same issue up here in Canada. Third party agencies, they're called. They're super PACs, where they are allowed to take money and work with foreign interests as well as domestic interests to pay for, bribe the interests of certain people in any kind of populist movement, any kind of political intervention. And that is the workaround when it comes to election laws, election financing, fundraising, et cetera, et cetera. These super PACs, to your point, are literally nonprofit fucking cash cows to do
Yeah.
anything to anyone, for anyone that fits the model in the lobby that is behind the actual super PAC. So in the case of the United States, evangelical and Abrahamic super PACs are fucking huge. They have
Huge.
billions of dollars. They have
APAC,
these war
APAC, all of them.
APAC. I mean, and what they do is money is power. That is true, right? Like, but people don't understand these cliches. They come to life in these little microcosms of these examples that we're talking about. And money is power. You can get people, as you know, to take their entire character center, their entire moral compass, and put it aside, right? If someone says, "Hey, Tim Pool, I'll give you $200,000 a week to just repeat the fucking dumbest shit on the planet." And so Tim Pool does it, as does Jack Posobiec, as did Charlie Kirk, as does Candace Owens. And it's not just about getting other people to regurgitate your bullshit and being able to pay for it, and pay people to a point where they're like, "Okay, I'm going to turn my moral compass off today. Here we go." And who perfected it? Who are the people that understood it the best? How to hide the money, how to incentivize lies, how to incentivize bullshit, how to incentivize corruption. MAGA. Well, ladies and gentlemen, right here, I would tell you this fella right here,
I
Lev Parnas, engineered it for MAGA. He
yeah.
understands it more than anybody, and now he's so sickened by it. He's like, you know what? I'm going to go fuck it all up now. And that's the entire purpose of your Congress run. It's not just the corruption, which is awesome. And I want to ask you a couple questions because you blew my mind this week.
Yeah.
You blew everybody's mind this week. We talk about muckraking, and in my bio, you'll see it says I'm a muckraker. I love dogs, and I've been attacked by birds a
Right.
few times. Like it's what I am. Muckraking is literally people that want to draw attention to corruption. And how Lev got there doesn't matter. But I'll tell you, I think how you got there is you got fucked over by the same people you built the machine for. Number one. Number two, you've had several come to Jesus moments. And I use that phrase heavily but lightly at the same time. Come to Jesus moments where you have realized, and listen, folks, I do my due diligence, where you've realized it's going to be really important for me to tell the truth to protect this country. It's going to be really important for me not just to tell the truth and put that into policy, but uproot this corruption in the United States of America because you now understand it. You took advantage of it, you built it, but now you understand it. And that's what I find fucking fascinating about your Congress run. This is about protecting America. This is about taking America back. This is about you being a true patriot. Half a century you've been in the United States of America, and you are now an award-winning whistleblower. You are now an author, and I watched you burn all your relationships this week. This is what I wanted to tell people. I watched you burn all your relationships. I watched you literally light the bridge on fire after you went across it and said, "Okay, guys, let's go get this. Let's turn America around." And if you wanted to know, anybody out there that's watching this right now, you wanted to know the intentions of this man, my friend Lev Parnas, and I say that with great privilege that I get to be your friend.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Watching you light your history on fire, talk about it openly, and then walk away from decades-long relationships that you could have in the past year to 2 years enriched yourself for, and two, has been absolutely stunning to watch, my man. Stunning. But on the other side of
I
that,
love you.
I love you too, pal. On the other side of that, what's the response been like? Not,
Oh
and I'm
man,
not talking about Democrats, Republicans. We'll
that's
get into who you're running for, but like
yeah.
you know some
It's
things.
it's been amazing. I'll tell you. Well, first of all, I just want to thank you, for all those kind words. I mean, you are a true friend. We've become really close, true friends. Got to know each other. I look forward to. I can't wait to meet you already in person. I mean, and give you a big hug because I mean, I know all the stuff you do behind the scenes to fight for our democracy. I know we
Mm,
take a lot of shit, but I know our heart is in the same place, and that's why I love you so much, brother,
I
for
love you
that.
too, pal.
I'll tell you, the other thing I want to mention for a lot of people out there, I don't run from my crimes. I don't run from my past. I embrace my past. I'm using my past. I'm using my knowledge to be able to go destroy these people. That's why I want to make it very clear. I went to prison because I donated money to Trump's super PAC. I went to prison because I was in charge, was inside Trump's super PAC. I've seen how it is. I was part of the. I know how the money flows. I know how Don Jr. was involved. How Trump. How you're not supposed to. How there's supposed to be a barrier and they're not supposed to coordinate, but everybody coordinate, and it happens on both sides, folks. So I want to make it sure. And that's why the reaction was really interesting because a lot of people, the great part about, I'll tell you first of all, is that the local reaction was incredible. The local media has, that was the
In
biggest
Florida,
thing. I was in Florida, in
27th
my
district. Yeah,
district,
yeah,
and in
yeah.
the 27th district. The media, the local papers came out and said, "Wow, this is going to be an interesting race because now they have somebody to really fear, and they understand." But I'll tell you the crazy part about it was what a lot of you obviously already understand. I have a lot of associates on the other side also because you
Mhm.
obviously understand I have good sources. Obviously, my sources are not journalists. My sources are not people running around, doing. My sources are actually some of the same people in Congress, some of the same people all around Donald Trump, and now they took a shit. I could tell you that much. Yes, when they found out I'm
Describe
running,
take a shit.
I got well, I got phone calls from sitting Congress people
Yeah.
and past Congress people, literally giving me messages like I'll quote one saying, "Trump is so pissed that you're running against Maria, his darling." Another one quoted saying, "Leave Maria Salazar alone. We'll give you somebody else. Leave Salazar alone." Another one quoted. I mean, this is quotes. Like I'm telling you, And after every one, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And I'm sorry, I don't curse, but I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, you're
Yeah.
only making me go even and then stronger." And
You're
I mean,
stealing my resolve here, guys. It's not
it
helping
was
you.
it was amazing. It was amazing. Then also, obviously, also then I got calls from certain Democrats, that establishment Democrats, not
Yeah.
not the good. Because again, folks,
Not the
I'm
new
anti.
Dems.
Yeah, I'm for the new fresh blood. We'll talk about that. I'm saying to you, and I'm not for division. Maria Salazar, folks. That's who Maria Salazar, District 27. She's actually right now with Trump. We'll talk about that. They're having
She's a
what's that?
Republican, that's throwing her
Oh,
hat in the ring for the
Salazar,
20.
yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh my God,
Tell me
Salazar's
about
an
her. Who is she?
incumbent.
Yeah.
She's an
Oh, she's there
incumbent. She's
now.
been there.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
she's there. She's Trump's darling. That's what I'm saying to you. She's actually there in the Legion of Doom meeting. She's part of his whole thing. She's hosting it. She's the head. She's the one that was happy
She's
that
a media
Palantir.
chick?
She Yeah, she brought Palantir to Florida.
Ah, I know who you're
Yeah,
talking about. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's an absolute like hanger on. Let me take my fucking carabiner, attach it to MAGA. Let me leave. Let me send ICE into my neighborhoods to take care of my own
yeah,
family. I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. She has
yeah.
fucked it up. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
Oh,
good.
yeah. I'll give you another example. It's like we have a family in my district, a Cuban family. The father, wealthy individual, has a business in the family. 40 years in America, just didn't happen to go. Like a lot of families out there, when you just don't go. I filed the paperwork, didn't get his documents in place. ICE picked him up. He's sitting right now in Alligator Alcatraz right now for a week. And that part of it is my campaign is I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna fight so hard for each and every one of these people in sitting there. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter where they came, but so we're gonna try, because
You
remember,
you want due process? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
due process. Oh, because I know what due process is because I went through it. And remember,
Mhm.
I'm the one that put the Ron DeSantis, the governor in the state of Florida. So he's having a heart attack right now because folks. I just want to give you an example
Yeah,
because
yeah.
why they're scared. So I'll give you like
I
another
love this
example. I'm
shit,
gonna
by
show
the
you
way. You
something.
know what? It's like just you running is trolling everybody. You're gonna
Oh
win.
no,
It's
you have
so
no idea.
fucking
You have no
awesome.
idea. It's about to get. Okay, so you see this right name, right?
Ron
I'm not gonna
DeSantis. Yeah,
I'm not gonna disclose any of
it's
his
in your
information,
contacts. That's his phone number. Yep.
but I'm gonna show you something. This is what Ron DeSantis is scared of.
Oh, your text messages between you and Ron DeSantis. Look at that. You're just scrolling through. I
So
love this
so
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 much for
so
us.
so so
And
so
you,
when
but
when I
us, all of us.
so when I say shit's about to go, and I want to make it clear, part of my and it's not. I'm not. I live in Florida for over 30 years, so I'm running for my district for my people in 27. But my campaign is national. I'm running for every single. I'm going to go out there, and part of that. That's why Trump already is. They're getting the war chest ready. They're talking about how my campaign could be the most expensive campaign in the history of Congress in Florida because they got Laura Lou. They got I heard already 12 million they're trying to line up just to go. They can't even raise $1 million. And they're getting gearing up 12 million to try to destroy me because they do not want. The one person they do not want because
You.
can you imagine? Like just think about what we were talking about before we went live. Can you imagine me walking down the halls of Congress and all of these corrupt Republicans that have uh, been with me for all those years and now they have to
Mhm.
look and they have to deal with me now. They
Well,
have,
now they
they
have to,
have,
dude.
they,
Here's the thing: they've been able to run from you. They've been able to fucking give it to you from behind a fucking wall and a door and a fucking computer screen.
so
Now, if you become the next congressman of the 27th district in Florida, you get to walk into their offices and look at them. And I can tell you this:
the,
there is no profiling courage from any of those people that have spent the last several years trying to make sure that you didn't do this,
the
because they are going to be fucking terrified. And I said this to everybody when we got on before we were actually live. I'm like, hey, dude, can I come down there with a camera after you win and record the reaction videos of people that you're like walking into their office? Because that seriously turns me on right now for some reason. I don't know
No,
why.
I'm going to give you something even more than my turn, Jan. So I want to just give a shout out to one of the
Careful.
best congressmen out there. One of my heroes, and one of the reasons I also ran, Congressman Jamie Raskin. When he called me up, he was so excited. He goes to me, Lev. He goes, the one thing that I can't wait is for you sitting next to me and questioning them when we're gonna with subpoena power, when accountability comes out there. And that was and just think about that. Think about that when it's time when they're in the hot seat when they can't.
And there's
What
you
I
going,
what
hi. I've got all those text
let's
messages.
you want
Let's talk.
are we gonna perjure ourselves because now accountability's here. We got when we have the gavel, when we have the desk. Folks, we are going to win. This is no doubt about it. And one of the reasons why I was mentioning part of the reason why we are my campaign is to root out all of this corruption with super PACs money because that's where it all starts to break. If we could break that, we're going to start getting our democracy back because right now we're all controlled by the billionaires, the oligarchy, the all the corrupt people out there because they're the ones that have the money and they're using and manipulating, and Trump just took it to a different level. Today he actually literally is standing in front of the world, said that he should, not only is he charging money for pardons, but now he's planning on charging money for endorsements.
Yeah, yeah.
He's planning on, so if you want an endorsement from Donald Trump, he asked Rubio, he goes, let's get some fun together. Like, they should pay me for it. Just think
Yeah,
about
yeah. He literally was standing there going, hey, I endorse all these people and sometimes they win and people shouldn't judge. Hey, Marco, can you figure out a rate sheet for my endorsement? Because I need more money from these people. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. That's great. And keep in mind, what makes me laugh even harder is that you understand the pardon rate sheet. You understand because you fucking put it together. 100,000 for this, 500,000 for that, 2 million for this, 10
2 million for
million
this.
for this.
Rudy had the 2 million going at the time.
Oh, did he really? He had the
So,
two. It was like,
yeah.
if you want to meet him, it's 2 million. You got to give it to me right now. Right now.
Yeah, and so what I'm saying to you is like it's so crazy. So the response has been also so yeah, folks. I just want to make it clear to everybody out there, and please, if you can, put it in the chat. It's levparnas.org. Very simple.
LevParnas.org.
Lovepartners.org, folks. Just put it in there. Keep the. We are running a pure grassroots movement. I want to make it clear. I am not taking any money from no 8-pack, no super PAC, no special interests, no billionaires, millionaires, nobody. My loyalty is strictly to, just like my loyalty was to my community, to each and every one of you here at our Wolf Pack, at
The
our,
Wolf Pack.
you know what I'm saying?
We're like the new Tea
No,
Party, but we're good night. We're
yeah,
nice people.
the Wolf Pack is going to Congress, folks. I'm not joking. The Wolf Pack is going to, because the Wolf Pack is each and every one of you. The
Mhm.
Wolf Pack is each and every person that wants to be able to have their voices heard, that wants freedom, that wants truth, wants, justice, wants justice for the survivors, wants to stop this corruption that's going on. Doesn't matter where you live, Canada, Florida, America, Australia. We're all the Wolf Pack. We're all out there. Just think about what we've achieved just here with the Epstein files. If it wasn't for this Wolf Pack, if it wasn't for people like Ellie, people like Kate Justice, people like Zev, Dean, and others out there that are out there every day, my son Aaron, and other incredible people, each and every one of you, how much information you guys email us with all of this Epstein stuff. If it wasn't for you, this would never have happened. I want you to know
Mm.
you are a part of this history. You are part. This is a different fight. This is a different war. And this is what we're bringing to them. They could go get their billionaires ready. They're going to have Elon Musk and them. They're raising the money to go after me, just like Byron Nelson in his campaign again and for the governor's seat. They got the money. I'll tell you that, folks. They're going to do it. But they don't have the voices like we have. They don't have the facts. They don't have the truth. They don't have the willpower. And they do not have the balls, I could promise you, because I know all of them, to stand up and to truth and when the facts hit them in the face. So
Yeah.
all I need from you guys is do what we do. Just like we did it here with subscribe. Now it's time for real stuff. Now it's time, we need every dollar counts. Now this is the Super Bowl. We were the season started. We did great. We've done just think about how many miracles we achieved in Ukraine. How many people just today alone I posted a video of another miracle Alex
At a
just dropped
school.
off
Yeah.
a school. I killed kids' school. Did you see that? Oh, the kids
Mm.
standing there saying thank you. I cried 3 times today. I
Yeah.
can't watch the video anymore because every time I watch it, I
You
cry.
start
We're
crying?
not stuff. Yeah, I can't
It's so
because
awesome, man.
I got 7 kids, dude. I got seven
Yeah.
kids. Like, watching that and to see them saying thank you because they got heat. Give me a break. I mean, like, we should be able to do so much more, but we're gonna do so much more. You know what I'm saying to you? So that's what I'm saying to you. We're not stopping with the Ukraine stuff. We're actually gonna intensify, because now with my voice in Congress, I could actually make things happen. Not only my voice, but you gotta understand. I know these players. I know the corruption. I know the Steve Witko's, the Jared Kushners, the Dimitri. I know them personally. I know how they talk. I know how I'm gonna mess. That's what I'm trying to explain.
You have their
For
text
those of you
messages.
for those of you that don't understand that, I know, because a lot of people sometimes sit there and I see some do chats like, well, love's a criminal, and we'll never, no matter what, vote for a criminal, or we need to get criminals out of there. And I respect that. And I'm going to tell you straight off I respect that. I respect there's certain lines we just won't cross, and that's, you have to respect that and live. And I will respect it as long as you understand that we're in the fight for the right democracy. And we don't, but the one thing I do is we don't need to go after each other, because I want each and every one of you out there to understand this. I might not be your perfect candidate. I might not be that, well polished, college educated lawyer, degree, served in the army. I'm not your Alex Vidman. I could tell you that. But I could tell you there's nobody knows all of these people, and that nobody scares them, and nobody that they fear more than me. Why? Because I was on in with the inside, because they know I am pure now. They know that for me to get this, let me tell you a little story, folks, so you understand. Because a lot of people think, oh yeah, you're running for Congress. Everybody wants to run for Congress. So that, yeah, I don't know who wants to run for Congress. I don't know who in their right mind would even want to run for Congress with all the things you have to go through and all the scrutiny when you're just a regular person. But let's take me for a second. I'm currently on supervised release, on the Donald Trump supervised release. My son out there, for all the doubters out there, is on the front line, fighting, every day, getting attacked by getting attacked by Trump, thinking about Pam Bondi and all of them, trying to somehow go after him, the Midas, and all these other independent journalists to be able to shut them up. My family gets death threats. We get go through scrutiny. They every single time, every time I come up here and I try to break some news and everything like that. So it's just that alone, thinking about, now I had to make a decision. I had to say to myself, now how do I even, what do I even do? What are the first steps? My first steps was literally I had to speak to my family, because literally without their support, and I want to name each and every one of them, without Aaron's support, without Daniel's support, without Milana's support, without Andrew's support, without Olivia's support, and without Nathan's support, and especially without my wife's support and my number one fan, my sister's support, I would have never said yes.
Mm.
I'm being extremely honest with you. And not everybody agreed to it in my family. Not everybody was like, yes, dad, because a lot of them were scared. A lot of them are worried. A lot
Mm.
of them were like, what is going to
Well, you've been
happen
through
next?
it. I mean, you've been
You know,
swatted.
like,
Yeah,
like, I'll give you an example. My 19-year-old daughter that goes to college. You know what I'm saying to you? The scrutiny that now, the spotlight, she goes to college in Florida, where the races, her going, out with their friends, if somebody takes a picture of, where she, it's a totally different life right now, because I know how they work. Because remember, what did we do? Part of the plan was not to go after the candidate, it was to go after the family. It was to go after the people around them. It was to try to smear, and that's what they're gearing up for us, for my
Mm.
family. So you know what I'm saying to you. So it's not just like, so when my family gave me the love and support and said go for it, and then I was able to get the support and build an incredible, powerful team made up of people that are not policy driven, that are not driven by because they had an R or a D in front of their name, because they are people that want the one thing that my team, we all have in common, because we also might disagree on policies, we might disagree, and that's great, because that's what we want to get back to, because we all disagree, and what we all agree upon is that we are living in a dictatorship right now. We are
Mm.
just moving farther and farther towards authoritarianship, and we need to save our country, and we need to save it not only from Donald Trump. We need to save it because over the years we have now people, and we've seen it. The only reason Donald Trump has been able to do what he does is because he has enablers. We talk about it all the time. He has the Tulsi Gabbers that right now we don't talk about, folks, but Tulsi Gabbard right now is sitting there trying to figure out to give Donald Trump a way to be able to steal our election.
Mhm.
You know when you're going to hear about it? When the media is going to talk about when she already does it, when it's too late. That's why I'm going in there. So that's the difference between me and a regular candidate. Yes,
Mm.
I might not be polished. I might not have the credentials. But the one thing I have that none of our other candidates have is I have the information, the knowledge, and the know how to be able to. I think I know how they think. And
Mhm.
that is not only going to help my race, but I'm using that. I'm going to help each and every other race out there and help to get other candidates in there. So for
Mm.
those that are say there, we need to get somebody in there that's more powerful, you're not going to get him in there, because
Mm.
the way the machine is set up right now, if you're lying to, that's why we've lost to Donald Trump. That's why I decided to throw my hat in the ring. That's why enough is enough. That's
Mm.
why it's time to take our democracy back. It's time to fight fire with fire. It's time to take the gloves off. It's time to take it down to the streets, bring it back home, and take Donald Trump out. So this way we could then bring it back. So then we could start the rebuilding. So we could start then getting people in there that care about our country, because I agree, we need young, new, fresh blood. We need to stop with the term limits. We need
Mhm.
to get rid of these old regimes that are sitting there 40 years, because that's why we have corruption. Think about it. The only reason you have corruption anywhere is when somebody sits there for too long. It doesn't matter what office. It doesn't matter. You could start out and being the. I've seen people over the years that have started out being very honest, very clean, very on. But when you sit there for so many years, you come to a point. It's just life, folks. Life
Mhm.
brings you to a point where you start to. Sometimes you make deals, and when you make those deals, now all of a sudden it takes you other places. All of these people that are in Congress for 40 years, they go in the screen, they fight in front of each other. When the cameras are off, they're drinking together, smoking cigars, and making deals. And it's never for the people. That has to stop. It doesn't. We need fresh. We need people in there that are there for their constituents. They're
Mhm.
fighting for each and every one of their states, their constituents, and not only in Congress, not only in Senate, but it needs to go down because the infection and this is all the way in our state races, in our local races, in our and that's what I'm bringing to the table. I'm bringing to the table. I'm going there literally to fuck shit up. I'm not going there to write big pot. There's other people that could do that. I'm
Mhm.
good at what I'm good at doing. That's why this is going to be a team effort. And that's why I need each and everybody to understand and embrace it. And I understand not everybody's going to love it. And some of you, and I hope I could win your trust, and I could win your votes, and I could win your support level, because I want you to understand, uh, this is not a local race, because the money that we need to raise to be able to fight this is a national race, because we're going after Donald Trump and his whole campaign,
Yeah, you're putting
all the
him on the
different states.
ballot against you, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It's Donald Trump. Correct. So, that's why, they're gearing up the Laura Loomers, the Benny
Mhm.
Johnsons, the Ben Shapiros, and all of these. And you got to say, I know them personally also. So they can't just come after me. The other thing is, they're right now in very major panic mode. So
Mhm.
that is why I think that gave me a lot of more excitement. And that's why when you say I'm giddy, I'm very giddy, folks, because I'm very excited, because it's only been 3 days into it. And there's more. We fucked up more shit in 3 days. I'm sorry, of course, I'm cursing. I know a lot of you, but today is just one of those days. In 3 days that, and they're running. How about this? I'm not even gonna mention. I got, one of Trump's top. Because I'm going to say this. Donald Trump is going to be watching this, so I'm going to say it. I know you guys might. He watches everything I do now, especially now. So Donnie, I'm going to tell you, you are going to be so surprised when you find out who's holding a fundraiser for me. You're going to have a heart attack. It's one of your buddies. Wait till you see this one. Wait till you see. You know how many people. And this is why, and I'll tell you why I'm excited, because you know how many people are now hedging their positions, because and Donald knows it. That's why he's trying to steal the election. He knows that right now, because already people even in his inner circle are
Mhm.
starting to realize that he might go down. Oh my
Mm.
God, something might happen. So now all of a sudden, not the Pam Bondis, not the Cash Patels, not the Tulsi Gabbard, not his hardcore. Those are in it, but there's so many people that are on the second, third layer. By the way, I have full support of the Biden family. Hunter wished me the best of luck from. It's all going to come out, folks. It's only been 3 days. I promise you. We got 7 months to go. I probably just this has only been 3 days. You are not
This
even
is why you
ready to
saved
shit
your
up.
bullets, right? This is why you saved text
Exactly.
messages. Yeah.
Thank you. Exactly. You're not even ready. You're not even ready. You, you know what? I'm gonna show you
Uh,
something else nobody's seen before, because today is a really great day, and for all of you guys, all of you that have been supporting us here, and you deserve it. And I'm gonna show you something else that's about to hit, that Donald Trump is worried about, that nobody's ever seen before. It was the day he sent me to Ukraine. There was hold on a second. If you guys remember, there was there was a meeting in the White House. For some of you that don't remember the story, there was a meeting in the White House during where Donald Trump sent me, Rudy, and he sent me to Ukraine to start the investigation into the Bidens, the corruption. So this was the famous picture of that event. That was the day, but that everybody saw that on TV. There, but nobody saw this interesting part that Lev happened to find in his evidence box. Hold on a second.
in his evidence box.
This is just a little taste, just to show you. This is in the red room. In the
Yeah.
red room. This is Rudy Giuliani. This is behind the scenes. So,
I think some people are starting to shit their pants. What we're seeing
oh yeah,
is Rudy
oh
Giuliani in
yeah.
the red room having a private conversation.
Oh yeah,
Obviously,
oh yeah, oh yeah,
you
oh
know,
yeah. This is and Trump's going to be here, and Melania, and this.
a little
Oh,
Christmas
you
get
have
together.
this was during this was the so you're not even ready for the shit I'm about to pull. So, yeah, they're worried. They are worried, and they have a right to be worried because we're gonna finally take it to them, and bring the fight to them, and
Good,
hopefully and
good.
don't forget the other thing. We're gonna hit them hard on Venezuela because the people running Venezuela happen just to be the same people that were in his first administration. We're going to hit him hard in Eastern Europe because what he's doing in Russia and all of that. It's instead of breaking it here on Substack, we're going to use this information and properly into now really making sure we can make a difference for our country. So yeah, that is why indeed I decided to run. And again, I am excited because we have a lot lined up.
Yeah, listen, I think if I could, if you don't mind, just I like to encapsulate and sort of deliver a message after I listen to you come up with and talk about what is important to you and why you're going to Congress. And you talk about everybody having different lanes and stuff. Then you talk about going there to fuck shit up. By the way, that needs to be a T-shirt. FSU, fuck shit up
Mhm.
university.
We should do
Yeah,
something.
yeah, no, we have to. Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
tell
you
my
gotta
team.
wear
I'll
that when
tell
you
my
go in.
team.
Um,
Yeah, dude.
but the interesting thing to me here is if I'm listening with these ears is that folks, we don't live in a time where there's a purity circle anymore. We don't live in a time where people can hide, their intentions. We don't live in a time where we beat people up over things they've done in their past when you can clearly see the character and the sacrifice that they're making to be of good character for the people by the people. And what you're talking about, which really excites me, and I think it excites a lot of different people, is getting away from the establishment and doing things for the right reasons for the people and making sure that you super serve the people. Because what you understand, which is what we all understand, is that character is going to be one of the most important platforms to run on in 2026 and 2028. And when you have a former fixer for Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani, someone that has lived this colorful lifestyle, someone who has had to hustle through several different crime families to make it work, who experienced life at the top, who then got put down at the bottom, who then is coming out and talking to us. If you remember 2, 3 weeks ago, you and I did a Substack where it was on a Saturday, and you literally went into all the details of your time running money for Trump, running money for people from Russia, making sure that we understood that your history dictated not just that you knew these people, but you knew the criminals, but you had nothing to hide from anymore because there's no purity firing circle here for you. You've put it all on Front Street, warts and all. And I think that those warts, and hear me out for a second, because we live in an incredible time where people are realizing that you're allowed to atone for, you're allowed to admit to, you're allowed to say, I am imperfect. But what I've learned on my imperfect journey is what the most important aspects of trying to save this country mean. Grassroots. It's not about big dollar donors. It's not about policy. It's about corruption. It's about applying the rule of law across the board in a way where nobody gets any special dispensation. And the country that you love, where you have been for the last half a fucking century, that has mistreated you, but also given you this opportunity, you're not wasting this opportunity. And when my friend Lev puts his fucking warts on display, the vulnerability of the conversations that we've had, where you have not just copped to, admitted to, you have absolutely fucking provided roadmaps for people to understand, burning all those relationships behind you that you could have easily gone back to experience wealth and fame. You could have hid information. You could have gone back into this machine. You've had lots of offers. Lots of people don't understand that. And you refuse to because you know what the right thing to do is. There are so many more of us than them, Lev, and you know that. You have
Yep.
mobilized an army of volunteers and people who also believe that merit and character, good character,
Yep.
is going to be the most important policy that you take into your congressional run. And listen, I can vouch for that here. There are so many people who can today. And we've had, the sample size of what Lev Parnas is and what he stands for. That's the freedom of the American people to take your fucking country back. That is a man who is willing to say, not only am I going to sell everybody out, but I'm going to do it for the best interest of the American people so we can move forward, get our heads outside these establishment parties that have held us hostage for this long, for hundreds of fucking years, who are now running a train on the American people, destroying the economy, destroying your safety, getting us into wars that have no business being in, hiding the Epstein files from people, re-victimizing thousands of young women and destroyed families, and a fucking rapist in the Oval Office. You want to talk about purity firing squads? This man
Yeah.
knows that rapist. This man knows that felon. This man knows that sexual predator. This man is not him. And if you're asking me, and if anybody out there has an issue with this, I don't care. If you're asking me, can we put a guy who's under supervised release in the White House? I would say there's a fucking 34-time convicted felon and adjudicated rapist in the Oval Office. So if you, who has the character of a fucking serial killer, so if you
But
Americans
I
want
was
your,
I also went to prison for him.
I know, I know, everything was great until you started working for him. It's just it's truly incredible, the double standard that's been farmed. And listen, I'm telling you, this gentleman in front of me, Lev Parnas. Lev, remember, subscribe right now. Hit that chyron at the top. He is
More than
consistently.
subscribe, more than subscribe. We gotta change it because now we're not subscribed. Right now, the most important thing, folks, and I love you, Dean, but right now we're it's levpartners.org, folks. Remember that every day, 24/7. Do what you can, pass it on because this is grassroots movement. Levpartners.org. Every dollar counts. As I told you, I promise you, I'm not going to take a dollar from any special interests. No super PACs. It's the opposite. We're going to tear them down. And I just to that I want to even share some more because we talk about Donald Trump and we talk about, but I want to make it sure because there are people sitting in Congress right now. Like I'll give you, let's say Congressman Pete Sessions.
Mhm.
So Congressman Pete Sessions is one of Trump's loyalist people there. He sits on the commission, right? Now let's take him for an example. We're going to do one by one. But today I'm having a good day. I want to share with you. So this is Congressman Pete Sessions, right? We see him right here, right? Now let's take a look at Lev's relationship with Congressman Pete Sessions.
Hmm. It's a lot of text messages, a lot of documents, a lot of screenshots, a lot of conversations there, a lot of pictures, memes even. I love the meme game. A lot of emojis. Pete Sessions, you're now on blast.
So that's so what I'm saying to you is, look,
That's so fucking awesome.
I want to make it clear to everybody out there,
Mm.
and and I respect everybody's comments and everybody's opinions and everybody. That's why we live in a great country because we have the right to be able to vote for who we want. And that's why. But right now, we don't have that right, folks. Right
Mm.
now, that right has been taken away from us. Right now, we unfortunately do not live in a country where we have our rights the way we think. We sometimes lie to ourselves. We try to use that as hope by saying that our constitution's still alive. There's still forces out there that are fighting it. But in all reality, it's not the case. In all reality, Donald Trump has control of everything. And if he decides today to do martial law, or he decides to put into insurrection law, or he decides to sign this petition to stop our elections, you know, yes, we talk about that we're going to pick up arms or there's going to be a revolution. But I want to make it clear revolutions don't happen that quickly. I want to make it clear. I came from a country, I came from a world where it takes time for people to actually bear arms, for people actually
Mm,
to go out there and really want to do it. It takes generations of
mm,
torture. It takes generations of fear, and we're not there yet because you still have so many people that Donald Trump has a control over, and so many people on this cult. And that is what I'm trying to explain to the Democratic Party and our leadership. And thank God, a lot of the Democratic leadership is now starting to understand, and that's why they have embraced me.
mm.
Because just like a lot of you have to embrace me, they need to embrace me because they need to sit there. If when I get elected into Congress, they're going to need to work with me. Going to need to make sure I vote on certain things, and I made it very clear. I'm not that guy that's going to vote just because there's a D or an R. That's not the case. I'm voting for my constituents. I'm voting for my people. That needs to change.
The
That's
right
one of the
thing.
changes that
Yeah.
exactly. I said that needs to change. It can't just be if you're a Republican or you're a Democrat, because then you're getting rid of a whole bunch of people you're discounting, and you're only going to be voting for the big powerful states that have the big powerful voices, because then they're going to dictate who it is. So that's why we need a change. We need,
Mm.
just like you said, we need a change in the way things are being run. Just like
In
we
what
talk
we
about the
vote
great
for, in how we vote,
correct
and who we
and
vote for. It's not about a party. It's not about a color. It's
correct.
not about
It's
your
not.
pocketbook.
No.
It's literally about character, morals, and values at this point. To your point.
Right,
Yeah.
and right, and the way we need to do, just like we talk about abolish ICE, right?
Yep.
That's everybody could agree that we want to abolish ICE, but I want to use the word abolish very carefully because we really, none of us really mean abolish ICE. What we mean is abolish the system that we are being right now used by, that being put on us. We all understand that we need a system, an immigration law enforcement systems that is run honestly, that is run properly, that is run
Humanely.
humanely to be able to protect it. And that is what we want. So we don't want to say, no, abolish ICE and abolish immigration and have it. And that is why they try to make it like that. They try to pick those words and say, oh, the Democrats want to abolish ICE. They don't want immigration. No, we want to tear it down so we could build it back up. So
Mm-hmm.
this way, because sometimes you have to tear it down to be able to, because when it's like cancer, I speak to a lot of doctors. I'm not a doctor, but and I compare it to you have to cut it all out. You have to take it out because if you leave a big
Yeah.
piece behind, it starts to spread again. And this is what happens with this type of a movement. If you do not cut it all out, and it's not just Donald Trump, it's not just J.D. Vance, it's not just Stephen Miller. You have people in the halls of Congress, you have people in the Senate that have enabled and allowed them to be able to do these things. So that
Mm-hmm.
is why it is so imperative. Oh, excuse me, folks. Oh, I apologize. Dean, can you take this? I gotta grab this. It's my lawyer calling me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'll be right back.
All right, there you go. Love's going to go talk to his lawyer. That's what happens in coffee and tea. You have coffee and tea. It's not really a Substack. It's just a couple guys sitting around having coffee and tea. You get to be part of it. So, when you have coffee and tea, sometimes you're going to take a phone call. Listen, what he's talking about. And I think I see so many beautiful people in the comments that are saying exactly, and what you're saying exactly to, or what you're saying yes to, is something that you have been shoehorned into forgetting. And what you're forgetting is the most important thing when you vote for anybody. As a Canadian who has a majority American audience, and there's a purpose in that. As a Canadian, how it works up here is very similar to how it works in the United States. We've got a parliamentary system. And the parliamentary system is literally run by two parties. We got a two-party system here in Canada, three if you count the NDP, which is, whatever. No one cares about the NDP. Conservatives and liberals, right? Democrats and Republicans. It's exactly the same thing. And so about 10 years ago, and I was deeply involved with conservative friendships here in Canada, in business and in life. And you just kind of get subsumed into the riding for a brand, riding for a color. And I realized shortly after that, and I think this is what, a really important point to make. Shortly after that, I disrespected the character of everybody in the party that I voted for my entire fucking life because I got to know them. I got to know the people. And you go one of two ways if you have friends in either one of these parties and that those friends have influence and you get to enjoy that influence. And you know this as someone who is a card carrying, sausage making MAGA capo, that it's hard to walk away from that. And so you start literally compromising your character, compromising your values, compromising your virtues. And I watched my friends do that, to your point, term limits. You've watched your friends, you've watched
Yeah.
politicians that you respected go, you know what, I'm going to look the other way when it comes to pedophilia and a rape trafficking
We're
ring
seeing it
that
right now
spans
happen.
40
Yeah.
years. Therein lies the issue. But you'll say to me, well, you got to ride for the brand. You got to. Now we're approaching a new time in politics, approaching a new time when it comes to supporting people to take our agency into the halls of Congress or into the halls of Parliament here in Canada. And that new time is, I need to see a fucking book of work that explains to me that you have the kind of character that dictates you're not going to abandon us at any point in time in the process that we give you our agency to send you into office. That time is here and it is now. And when you talk about the kind of character that it's going to require for a grassroots campaign at levparnas.org, when you talk about that, you talk about it from a perspective, or at least I do, of this is the future of politics. This is the future of power. This is the future of influence. Because if the 0.2% that are currently telling the 99.8% that you'll eat this prison gruel and dig it, we'll steal from you and you have to look the other way. We're going to fucking execute you in the streets and put your neighbors in jail. If if you don't think that there's more of you in the 99.8%, and if you don't think for a second that your vote matters, if you're going to vote for character in this time, in this moment, in this era, which my very good friend Lev Parnas represents at levparnas.org in the 27th Congressional District of Florida, you're crazy, because it matters now. For the first time in human history, we understand the power of the wolf pack, of our friends, of the resistance, of the individual and the character that they need to preserve their agency when you give it to them, when you vote for people like Lev. That is very important for everybody to realize. Anyway, welcome back. How was your phone call with
Thank you,
your
brother.
lawyer?
Well, it's actually we're gonna have to cut it short right now because I have I'll share something with you guys. I have a call coming up with some Democrats that want to talk to me, so it's gonna be an interesting call,
You
brother.
go and do your thing. But
I'm
first of
gonna.
all, levparnas.org, coffee and tea with Lev and Dean. I am super grateful
Yes,
that I get a chance to watch you go through this, and more grateful that I believe in you. I believe in
I
you, and
appreciate
everybody
that, my
needs to
brother.
believe in this man and take them with him. Follow him. Go to levparnas.org. Donate, subscribe, support. Anywhere you can, you find this. Nothing changes. This is the wolf pack
Nothing
mentality,
changes.
and you're going to walk into
That's right.
Congress with all of us behind you. So thank you, my brother.
I'll just change one thing. We are gonna walk into Congress. We are. When I walk into Congress, we all are walking into Congress, and
You
that's
got it.
going to be the difference. Yeah, I'm gonna carry each and every one of your voices, just like I do here on the platform, just like I do when I go out to Washington D.C., just like when I sat there in the halls when Pam Bondi was sitting there and disgustingly, testifying in front of Congress, and just like I stood and testified in Congress and spoke truth to power, under Joe Biden's impeachment to be able to make sure that we could shut that down. I will
Mhm.
continue that. And I promise you that. And your support means everything to me. And that's why each and every one of you, I know some of you might have doubts. It's a long race. I just hope that over the next few months, I will be able to convince you to understand that what we need to do right now, and this is what my whole thing, and I'm telling the Democrats and everybody and each and every one of you and independents and the people, the Republicans that want to have our democracy back and stop authoritarianism and dictatorship, is right now needs to be a team effort. We need to be able to go in there. And when I say team effort, we need to be able to have, it's like when you go into it, it's like I'm a big sports nut. So like football, you can't have 20, everybody wants to be the quarterback, right? You can't
Mhm.
have 20 quarterbacks. You have to have people that block on the line. You have to have people that running backs. You have to have wide receivers. You have to have all of these different positions.
Mhm.
And that's why there's no I in team. Same thing here. Right now, we're going into the midterms. There's people that are going to be, we need different qualifications to go into our Congress from new young blood, that represent, Gen Z. We need new young blood to represent new ideas. We need people like myself that know Donald Trump, that know is there to be able to help get those people in there for them to be able to do it. We need people so you need fighters. Not everybody that's going to win a congressional seat is going to be a fighter like me or Jasmine Crockett or Jamie Raskin or a
Sure.
Moskowitz.
Yeah.
No, that's why you have the Crockett's, the Moskowitzes, the Raskins, because but we need more fighters. And what we stopped seeing is we started tending to see more people like the Jeffries, the Schumers, and people that have got a place in their seats that have no problem coming out there when they have control, because they got used to having control of the gavel for too long. Because just think about how long Nancy Pelosi had control of the gavel. Think about how long when the Clintons were in charge, they had control. These are groups of people that got complacent. It was just like, we'll wait until it comes. They never thought that they're going to see a beast like Donald Trump, and that has been an awakening. And that is why we need teamwork. We need different type of different individuals inside of the halls of Congress, so we as a team could get our country back. Because winning is only the first step, folks.
Mhm.
Once we get in, it's then cleaning up after all the mess they did. Just think about it. It's like coming into a house after your kids threw a party for 300 people and you came from vacation and you're like, oh my God. You have to now do the cleanup. Coming
Mm.
home is the one thing. So yeah, we winning the House, winning the Senate, that's just step one. Then there has to be cleaning up. Just think about all of the stuff that they did, all of the bombs they put behind, all of the things they destroyed, that you have to now get back in the relationships.
Mhm.
And then when you get there, then you have to start having accountability, because that's one of the biggest things that Democrats never do. Is when they get in, they try to let's make peace and move on. No, there's no making peace and move on. These people have blood on their hands. These people have destroyed families. They've
Mhm.
ripped kids away from their families. People have died. Remember
Executed people in the fucking
executed fucking
streets.
streets. Renee Good. Remember Alex Preddy and so many others that were not, that are in their name out there. So there is accountability. Christy Nome being sent over to the Legion of Doom and being promoted is not the what we're talking about. It's sitting next time in front of this hot seat with handcuffs on. And believe me, I know what that feels like also, and I'm going to explain to them, and that's why they're going to get the full service. So, folks, I hate to cut this short, but I have a major call. We are running for Congress. I want Dean. I love you, bro. Thank you so much. We're going to continue our coffee and tea with Love and Dean. So make sure you subscribe to Dean. Make sure continue building our platforms here, because you are our voices. This is our family. I'm never going to stop coming here and making sure sharing stuff with you. But right now, our number one goal, each and every one of you, those that can't vote, those that can't, everybody, like I say, could do something. And right now, the number one thing we need, step one, is we need to raise as much money as you can to be able to, what's it called, put into the campaign. Because right now, when we come out with quarterlies in March, we need to be able to have the ad campaigns going. We need to be able to have the social media running. We need to be able. So right now, I need each and every one of you out there to go. This is not no GoFundMe. This is not a Venmo. This is not a paid subscription. This is now you are putting money for a campaign to go out there to save your democracy. So I ask each and every one of you, every dollar counts, everything matters, because we're just getting started and there's a lot of work. And I also want to, before I go, a special message I wanted to share from my sister, because she hasn't been able to come on with us the past couple of weeks. For those of you who know, she's had some surgery done and she's been recovering. Her recovery is going well, thanks to each and every one of your wishes and prayers. And she wanted me to personally just thank each and every one of you, that for all the love, for all the messages, for all of you coming. So I love you guys for all the support you give my sister, my son Aaron, my family. We are with you, and we are all family. So all of you here, Dean, each and every one of you, the Wolf Pack, so many of you to name. I love you guys. I promise you one thing, that when we get in, I'm going there for all of us. We're all going in there. So, we're going to make it happen. And what can I say? It's on
Dude,
2026.
go get it.
Levpartners.org. Let's
Go to
get it.
levparnas.org. Everybody go there. Thanks, Lev. We'll talk to you soon. Everybody, please subscribe. Please send this around. Share this as much as you can and go and support levparnas.org. I'll talk to you soon, pal.
Take care, guys. Have a great day.